Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the Civivi Dogma. This is an excellent entry from Civivi, and I'll go ahead and tell you why it's excellent right after I do some size comparisons. So Civivi, of course, is a budget arm of WE Knives. Size comparison-wise, this is the Bull Mastiff. This is a massive knife, so you can see this one is not a massive knife. But you've got the CJRB Centros. You've got the Benchmade Super Freak, which is the same size as the Paramilitary 2, and you've got the Para 3, so you can see it's sort of an in-between size between the Spyderco Para 3 and the PM2, or in this case, the Super Freak. You've got the Civivi Elementum here, and the QSP Penguin, both of which are smaller than the Civivi Dogma. You've got a couple of other knives smaller than the Civivi Dogma, or the Benchmade Bugout, the CJRB Rhea, the Civivi McKenna, and now we're going to go to the two that I think are the most important comparisons here, which are the Civivi Backlash, and this is the carbon fiber and black wash version, and the Civivi Shredder. So the reason I think these are the two most important comparisons is not size-wise, because obviously this is a smaller knife than those, but the reason they're important comparisons is because the Backlash blade and the Dogma blade are extremely similar as far as the blade shape. This is obviously just a little bit thinner, meaning a shorter version of this in this dimension, and this one also has a larger opening window. So it has the similar shaped opening window, but it's a little bit larger. The blades are more similar here, but still somewhat similar here. The ergonomic swoop, the halfway has about the same swoop. Obviously the ends are a little bit different, and you have the sizes that are a little bit different too. But for the most part, these are clear influences on the Civivi Dogma. Let's go ahead and talk about what is good and what is bad about this knife. So what's good about this knife? First of all, let's talk about the blade steel. The blade steel is D2 on this. And D2 is an excellent budget steel. Civivi does D2 pretty well. And within Civivi's line, D2 is generally a more expensive, or put on some of the higher end knives. You're usually looking to get above, $50. Usually with D2, you're getting more into the $60, $70, $80 Civivis, which leads me to my next point with this, which is the price on this. The price on this is $48, despite having D2, and that is excellent. $48 for a Civivi with Civivi's fit and finish with G10 and D2 is awesome. Now there is a version of this with D2 and copper, also D2 and I believe it's brass. And those are $68, so you're paying $20 more. The scales are more substantial, but they're also way heavier. I don't know that they're necessary on this knife, and frankly, when you get up into that price range, you are competing with knives like the Kershaw Bareknuckle, which frankly is a better knife than the Civivi Dogma. That's not to say that the Dogma isn't a great knife. It actually is a great knife, spoiler alert for the rest of this video, and I like it a lot, but at $48, this is a deal. It's a steal, and it is well worth the money. But at $68, I think if you were going to do some more premium materials, I'd want something a little bit better than brass and copper, maybe something like a full carbon fiber, or an upgraded steel. Obviously, a raise in price point past 68 would be warranted in that if that's the case. But this platform, this Dogma platform, I think would be a great platform for a $90 or so Civivi with more premium materials. In any event, $48 on this is a steal. Very, very happy with this. So another great thing about this is the action. You get the Civivi fit. You get this, not only do you get the Civivi fit and finish, you get the Civivi action, which is a ball bearing action, and you can see. Well, I'll just show you real quick. It is a very smooth. It's not drop shot, but it's a very smooth closing of this knife, and the action will pop out all the way every single time. The only, I will say this: the tension on here prevents it from falling anything less than smooth but not drop shot. But if I depress the tension off of this, this is fully drop shot, as you can see. So if I release the tension all the way, but that's not necessarily how knives work when you play with the action. You still have some tension on here, but it's smooth enough that, that it does feel really smooth in hand. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent. I like the fact that this has multiple opening methods. Obviously, it has the flipper tab. It also has the window here, so you can do a Spidey flick. You can also do a thumb roll out. Very nice to have multiple opening options. The clip on this is great. Civivi does a great job with their deep carry clips. I like this deep carry clip quite a bit. And I like that it's not painted, because some of the painted ones can chip off. Some of the other models have black clips with painted chips or painted clips, but this one is satin, and I think should fare just fine. The lanyard hole is out of the way and not in the way of the pocket clip, which I think is great. And also the pivot hardware is the general Civivi C, which is mostly attractive on these budget lines of knives. This is tip up right or left-handed carry, so that you can switch the pocket clip back and forth, but it does not carry tip down. The other thing is the texture on this is done very well, so you have no slippage at all on the knife. That's not to say something that's smooth like the Civivi Backlash has any slippage, because it doesn't, but if you're worried about texture at all on the knives, this has plenty of it and is great. The ergonomics on this are very good. I would give them probably an 8, 8 out of 10. Now, the choil feels really good in the choke-up position. You get a nice neutral grip here with no finger cutouts on the back end. It's a little bit thin, which is why it didn't get a higher score. But other than that, it does feel really good in hand. One of the stars of this knife is the blade. The blade shape on this is amazing. You get a little bit of flat, you get just the right amount of belly, you get a very, very piercing tip, but most of all, you get a really, really thinly ground blade. I don't know if you can see how thinly ground that is, but those of you who know, I don't do measurements on this channel, but I know some other channels have measured the backlash at 15 thousandths behind the edge. This knife actually feels like it is even thinner behind the edge than the backlash. It could be the same, but it does feel thinner. I was able to pierce paper and split the paper. I'm talking about sideways. Push the knife into the paper and split the paper with the knife. So it gets a very, very fine tip and a very, very fine cut. This thing cuts like nobody's business. It zips through cardboard like it's butter. It is amazing in that regard. And obviously it's D2, so the edge will last a good while. One thing with the edge, though, obviously when you have an edge this thin, you're going to have the edge retention. It's better to have that, more edge retention. The steel that has better edge retention, but it won't last as long as maybe some other D2 knives with a fatter tip as far as the edge retention goes. Not a big deal because you're getting better performance, and that's the trade-off. Better performance as a slicer, I should say. Thicker blades are better for other tasks. So let's go ahead and talk about the bad. The bad on this, I don't have a whole lot to say the bad on this. Mostly, I would just say that I don't find the overall faux bolster as part of the G10 to be attractive. In fact, it was a huge turnoff with this knife, and it's a big reason why you're seeing this review now, even though this knife came out several months ago, or maybe even almost a year ago. It's been sitting around. I didn't buy it for the longest time because I just didn't find it that attractive. That's a matter of taste, and you may disagree. One of the annoying things that I have on this knife is that this window I think is too small. I like to Spidey flick knives. The window I find to be too small. Is it, hard to Spidey flick? No. Is it, does it cause me any issues? Not really, but I will tell you, I vastly prefer Spidey flicking, a Spyderco, obviously with a round hole, or in this case, the Civivi Shredder's hole is much larger. I feel like I get perfect purchase every single time with the Civivi Shredder, and I feel nice and secure when I am Spidey flicking. I don't feel nice and secure when I'm Spidey flicking this. I feel like, my finger's sitting on top of it, and I'm hoping it comes out. Do I have any problems with it? Like I said, no, but, I'm sort of nitpicking here because the knife is that good that it's hard to find a whole lot of things wrong with it. I think that's pretty much it, honestly, for the bad. So overall, do I recommend this knife? I'm going to say yes. Yes, 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 yes. I really do recommend this knife quite a bit. And at this under $50 price range, this is probably one of the best things on the market. Do I recommend it over the CJRB Centros? I probably would. So this version of it with the contoured micarta, no, I definitely take this over the Civivi Dogma. The version with the flat G10 scales, I'd still take over the Dogma, but it's much closer than you think. So, and you guys know that I've sort of proclaimed the Civivi Centros to be the best budget knife on the market. I'm sorry, the CJRB Centros. Did I say Civivi? CJRB Centros is the best budget knife on the market, probably tied 1A and 1B with the Civivi Praxis, in my opinion. So, do I still like the Praxis better than this? Yeah, I still like the Praxis better than this because it's just a fuller knife. It's a little bit larger, but that doesn't take away from how awesome this is. And if you're looking, if the Praxis is too large for you, then yeah, this is a great knife. Now, here's the real kicker. Here's the one that makes it difficult. Do I like this better than the Backlash? It's a hard one. So for EDC, you know, it's probably a little bit nicer to have the Dogma with you. But honestly, for day-to-day just use with the larger handle, I prefer the larger knife, which is the Backlash in this case. But I think anyone who is used to medium knives is honestly going to prefer the Dogma. So again, my personal preference, the Backlash, but I think somebody who's more interested in medium knives is going to prefer the Dogma over the Backlash. It's a little lighter. It is, the blade shape is a little bit more slicey. You know, I think the edge is a little bit more slicey, and the opening window is definitely easier, better for a little bit more fidgetability. So those are my 2 cents on these knives, and again, very much recommend the Civivi Dogma. This is going out. This was a giveaway knife, so it's going out to the winner, Cauldron. Congrats. And go ahead, guys, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get all my content. You guys know I do a lot of giveaways. This obviously was one of those giveaway knives. It's already spoken for, so don't go commenting that you're entering it in anything. But always look out for my giveaway videos because I'm doing them all the time. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the review.